Привет, мой дорогой зритель. С тобой кто бы ты думал? Конечно, я, Ватсон. А мы проходим прекрасную игру LA Noire. Следующее расследование называется «Обнаженный город».
187 at 5810 Murata Avenue. Homicide wants you over there. The coroner thinks the broad was whacked using the army morphine. Don't say anything, Roy. Just get over there.
Да уж, паршивенько. Опять армейский морфин. Все эти дела как-то связаны.
What's with that getup of yours anyway? I should start introducing us
Что-то
as
доебался до моего костюма. Ну-ка.
Detective Earl, and this is my science teacher, Mr. Phelps.
Your interest in my appearance is starting to get me worrying.
Like it or not, we're a dysfunctional couple now. People judge me with you on my arm same way they would a fat broad with a 5 o'clock shadow.
I really hope you're joking, Roy.
Блин, как он все-таки прикольно отвечает. Мне просили посмотреть, какие костюмы есть у меня. Не появилось лишь чего новенького. И, собственно, вот что я вам скажу. Ничего не появилось. Так. Угу. Давай вот в этом походим. Был я модником, а стал бойцом. Хотя мой напарник не оценил то, что я модник, да? В общем, давай вези на место меня. Напарник. Единственная польза от тебя.
Seem distracted. We recovered the morphine. Some of it might be unaccounted for, so what? That's life. We did our job.
Closing one case opens another.
Do you have any idea what is really going on while we're wasting our time following this stuff?
Are you going to tell me?
The deals being done right now will change the face of LA forever, and we're wasting our time on some hump.
Someone's little girl.
Visit the morgue at the end of the month when the John and Jane Does are cremated. Their percentages. The odds for and against lightning striking.
Неопознанные жмурики. Довольно циничный у нас напарник. О, Фелпс тут. Подбородочек еще один. Ой, я пропустил. Что он сказал? Я рассмотрел подбородочек Фелпс. Что-то там, second floor, back. Что там? Сейчас узнаем. Ну вон, видимо, открытую дверь, поехали.
Bukowski, you made homicide.
That I did. Good to see you, Phelps.
You two want a hug? Or can we get on with it?
Relax, Rusty.
Нихуя себе.
26 years old, fashion model. Found in the tub by the cleaning lady, Mrs. Reynoldson. She called it in.
We heard Carruthers thinks...
Carruthers likes to make work for people. Overdose of sleeping pills. Falls asleep in the tub. Rest in peace. Case closed.
Here, here. Mal is 100% that it's murder.
Do you mind if I take a look around?
Sure. Go right ahead.
Бля, это два моих напарника, что ли? Я... Так, мне сказали идти сюда, да, сразу вот так вот. То есть, значит, я...
Phelps?
Mal, we've had a look around. Rusty thinks it's a waste of time. What's your theory?
Come on, Mal. Tell us why we were dragged down here.
If the victim was alive when she entered the tub, water would have entered her lungs. The water is violently churned in the windpipe as she drowns. The result is that a lot of foam is generated. This foam is found at the mouth and nostrils in almost all cases of real drowning. Notice anything about our Vic?
No, yeah, I took a look.
Be my guest.
Опять ты этим занимаешься, Фелпс.
Take a closer look at her head and neck.
Что это такое на руках?
very unusual ring.
I could be wrong, but it looks like a black sapphire.
И обломанные ногти, кстати. Или это так модно? Ладно.
Bruising on the forearms, and these look like bite marks.
Может,
Very
засосы?
good.
Ну почему на руках?
The neck is bruised pretty badly.
The eyes are a classic sign of morphine, and the bruises tell their own story. I think one man held her down and another held her arm and injected her. They put her in the bath to try to cover it as a drowning.
And spread a trail of barbiturates.
Take a look around outside on your way out and see if you can find the syrettes. It would make my theory.
And morphine would have been very quick, and there wouldn't have been much of a struggle.
Okay, so find two guys who recently bought syrettes and weren't junkies, and you might be onto something.
Хорошо.
This is her?
А,
These photos?
вот так вот. Ну блин, лог-то есть? Нет?
Yes. I
Вот так вот. Нет.
Miss Julie was
Pretty girl
Ладно.
like that? Maybe she was having trouble with some boys, huh? Maybe she got her heart broken.
Probably nothing.
Couldn't take it
Mhm.
anymore. So she ran herself a bath and down some pills, and then she just drifted off.
I don't know. Miss Julie, she always
Хочу к туалету. Блин, такой большой толчок.
so much.
Но походу туда нельзя.
I'm sorry. I'm not being very clear.
There.
Так.
It's okay.
Давай фоткай. Не мешаю.
Looks like barbiturates.
Барбитуаты? Барбитураты, наверное. Да хватит тоже фоткать жакет. Ты типа чисто из эстетических побуждений ты делаешь?
Quality English smoking jacket. I
Хаскель
don't know
шоу,
anyone under
кстати.
45 who would wear one.
От 35 и старше?
Barbiturates. What else is rattling around in this thing?
Опачки. Джулия Рэндалл по одной капсуле в день после еды 20 штучек.
We should speak to a
Бензидрин.
doctor. Prescribing both drugs would make her life a roller coaster.
Бог как даже. Ладно. Так. Я знаю, что там еще одна комната, а здесь просто еще таблеточки. Нет, нельзя посмотреть на них. Нет. Хорошо.
Just when I think I've seen it all.
Бедный коронер постоянно на труп смотрит. О, опрос.
This is all top end of town stuff. Gives us somewhere to look.
Ничего. Хорошо, давай тогда посмотрим еще две штучки.
Could have been a modeling assignment.
The Sign. Ага.
It's a place to start.
С 11 до 4 во вторник.
girl. Clothes certainly aren't from the Sears catalog.
Ага, поняли. Бога ради. Ну вот, это уж поинтереснее.
Doesn't look like anything.
Именно так. Там кошечка. Что, это все, да? Ну, считаем, поговорили. Куда еще можно сходить, я не знаю. Давай.
I'm Detective Phelps. I'm here to try and help Julia. Do you mind answering some questions?
Virginia Reynoldson, I'm just so shocked. I feel like there's something I should be doing, someone I should call.
We can make those calls, ma'am. Who needs to be notified?
That's just it. I don't know. Miss Julie doesn't have any family in town. Someone has to set her affairs in order. Mr. Henderson, maybe? Who else is there? I don't know.
If you give the details to the other detectives, ma'am, they can try and get in contact.
Душевное состояние жертвы.
Was Miss Randall depressed about something? Upset?
No more than normal.
Не больше обычного. Да ведь? Ага. Была ли она в депрессии? Не переживала ли? У нас есть даже рецепт, так что это ложь.
What are you hiding here, Mrs. Reynoldson? Julie was obviously disturbed about something.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Слушай, ну она выедала таблетки.
She was taking barbiturates. She couldn't sleep. You must have seen them in her room.
You've seen the pillbox, the things she hid in there. I don't know how she supported herself. Always new clothes and jewelry. She lived like a movie star. A princess. Does modeling really pay that well?
Это все, что тебя интересует?
Did Miss Randall have many friends visit?
I'm not sure. I only come around twice a week.
Я же убирал у нее только 2 раза в неделю. Но что-то ты явно убирала. И, по-моему, вот этот вот домашний мужской жакет. Домашний мужской жакет.
Why are you lying to me, Mrs. Reynoldson? Julia had men stay here.
I will not speak ill of the dead. You can't prove that.
Who owns the smoking jacket?
I wouldn't like to tell tales, you understand. That's Mr. Henderson's. An older man, very distinguished looking. He seemed very much in love with her.
Ага, и потом ты
Where would we
спрашиваешь,
find
откуда у
him?
нее средства.
I'm sorry.
О,
I don't
Господи.
know. He said he lives in San Francisco.
What was it like working for Miss Randall?
Perfectly fine, officer.
Ну, улик-то как таковых нет. Ну, типа, давай попробуем. Сомнения?
Mrs. Reynoldson, it seems like there's something you want to tell me.
She was very high-strung. Lovely one moment and screaming at you the next. She wanted it all, and she wanted it damn quick. Of course, being so beautiful, it seemed like she was going to get it. Not the way it's turned out, though, is it?
Thanks, Mrs. Reynolds. You've been very helpful. One of the other detectives will take your statement, and then you can go home.
Что делаем дальше? Можно уезжать?
Stefan, Rusty, we'll take a look around outside and then follow up these leads. Can you get some guys to run down the jacket?
Нормально.
You think Carruthers has called it right?
He rarely gets it wrong.
I don't know. I'm with Galloway. I've met enough girls in my time who can't handle their dope.
Мне, кстати, здесь, да, получается, надо что-то исследовать? Или что? Музыка играет. А, ну да, блин, у меня же есть эти места. Да, и все исследовал. А, здесь музыка не играет. Значит, надо осматривать внутри. Уже это прости... А, блин. Да, не получится. Опа!
Mal will be pleased.
Well, that's hardly conclusive, given the number of those things we've come across recently.
The autopsy will confirm it one way or another.
I think our work is done here.
Да. Так, что у нас по местам? Угу. Давай в клинику. Рванем. Бип-бип.
He's good looking for a policeman.
Yes, I am.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Did you read about the woman who stabbed her husband and then pushed him in front of the car?
Bukowski, Galloway, quite the little reunion in there. Almost brought a tear to my eye.
They're good police.
How would you know? You got promoted so fast you barely had time to learn their names. Let me fill you in. Bukowski's a pushover. Galloway's a drunk.
You could learn a thing or two from both of them.
Please. They couldn't work a vice case if their life depended on it.
I don't see why they'd be any better or worse at it than me.
I noticed you said better. Hubris disguised as humility. Kind of your trademark, don't you think?
Why do you always twist everything? Galloway's got nothing to prove. He's been on homicide for years.
And he's welcome to it. You're a terrier, Phelps, and that's what I need. Not some old bulldog who can't get up a flight of stairs without coughing up his lunch.
Ну, у каждого свое мнение. Может, я все-таки здесь где-нибудь войду, да? Ага. Ха. А я знаю, куда ехать.
I swear, if we locked up every doctor in this town, Vice would be able to work half days.
Но, наверное, это все-таки правда. Учитывая дела о наркотиках. Блин, клевый кадр.
Yes, sir, your name?
LAPD. We'd like to see Dr. Stoneman.
Dr. Stoneman is with a patient. Would you like to wait?
No, we wouldn't. Tell him we want to see him now.
There's no need to be rude.
Save it, sister.
Dr. Stoneman, I have some gentlemen from the LAPD here to see you.
Send them in, please. I'll see this patient again after they've left.
Ну еще бы. О, а вы кто такие пиздюки? Сидите,
Your
читаете?
investigation is much more important than my sciatica. I'm just in pain here. Leave me alone.
Да пошел ты. Мое дело. Конечно, мое расследование важнее. Дурень.
Dr.
Этот доктор,
Stoneman,
возможно...
we are investigating the death of
Ого.
one of your patients, Julia Randall.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Do you mind if we ask you some questions about Ms. Randall?
Not if it doesn't compromise doctor-patient privilege, detective.
Доктор Стоунман с голубыми глазами, седыми волосами, мужского пола и 56 лет от роду. Лечащий врач Джули Рэндалл.
How well did you know Miss Randall?
Barely at all. She'd only been a patient 6 months or so.
А, почти не знал? Чё? Как ты мог ее не знать? Я все правильно прочитал? Да.
Julia Randall has been your patient for nearly a year. I'm sure you know that.
Do you doubt my veracity, detective? Do you have access to my patient records?
Нет, но у меня есть рецепт.
Your prescriptions contradict you, doctor.
Miss Randall was in the fashion business, as you probably know. She was jumped up on Benzedrine by day and knocked down by sleeping pills at night. I told her to slow up, but no. Life was too short for her.
And you supplied the prescription for the Benzedrine.
It's not illegal, detective. A lot of young women in her line of work use it for weight loss.
Стоит ли Ватсону задуматься об этом?
You wrote Julia Randall a prescription for Benzedrine. How can you account for that?
Miss Randall was in the fashion business. She wanted to control her weight.
Это единственная причина, ведь у нее, кажется, были проблемы... Ну, проблемы же с этим, с душевным состоянием. Но улику со снотворным мы уже использовали, да?
Benzedrine is addictive, as I'm sure you know, doctor.
As I warned her, but she was determined. She said she needed it to control her appetite.
Sounds like you knew her pretty well.
I knew the line of work she was involved in.
That'll be all for now, Dr. Stoneman. We'll be in touch.
Получается, в модельном бизнесе все используют бензидрин, чтобы контролировать свой вес. А, даже так? Ну вот. Ну да, музыка не играла. Нам... Значит, не надо. Зайдите, пожалуйста. Значит, не надо ничего обыскивать, искать улики.
The old boy is lying.
About what?
I don't know. He looked relieved when you said she was dead. That's a strange reaction to have to the death of a young patient.
Блин, согласен.
You're
Блин,
behind
походу,
the
это
wheel.
мой самый толковый
Do we know
напарник.
where we're going?
Как ни странно, хоть он мне сначала не понравился.
Have you noticed how croakers only pull out the physician-patient privilege card when they got something to hide?
There are certain things people have a right to keep private.
until it gets in the way of police work. And it's only private when it suits them. A couple of drinks and every doctor I've met will spill your darkest secrets in a heartbeat.
Возможно. Какой-то прям модный магазин.
I read about him in the paper.
Well, hello. What can I help you with today?
LAPD, ma'am.
I hope I haven't done anything wrong.
No, ma'am. We're making some inquiries about Julia Randall. Does she work here?
No, I had to let her go. Is she in some sort of trouble?
She was found dead this morning.
Блин, походу, она к этому примешана. Выглядит шокированной.
How long had Julia worked as a model?
Well, she worked in New York before coming here. She was a very beautiful girl.
Внимательно следим за мимикой. Она прям расстроена вроде. Слушай, ну все вроде... Ну да.
Could you tell us why you let Miss Randall go?
Husbands sometimes come in here with their wives. When Julia Randall modeled, the husbands were often more interested in her than they were their wives' dresses. The wives weren't happy, and neither was I.
Did she have any close friends here?
Actually, yes. Heather Swanson. Would you like to speak with her?
I'd like that very much. Please don't inform her about Miss Randall's death.
Very well, officer.
Heather?
These gentlemen are from the LAPD.
I'm Detective Phelps. This is Detective Earl. I understand that you worked with Julia Randall, Miss Swanson?
Yes. Julia helped me get my job here. She's not in any kind of trouble, is she?
She's a hellraiser, isn't she? Lives a fast life.
Oh, no. Maybe Mrs. Stanley would call her that, but I wouldn't. She's full of life, wonderful company.
That's a lovely engagement ring.
Do you like it? Henry gave it to
I'm
me.
very interested in engagement rings. Do you mind if I take a closer look? That's some pearl, Miss Swanson. Would have cost Henry a fortune. He must really love you.
А что там у меня по уликам-то? Четыре грана, да? Два карата.
How did you meet Julia?
I was introduced through my fiancé, Henry Arnett.
Ну ладно.
Henry is your beau. Tell us about him.
Yes, he is. Henry has a fashion business. He and Julia have been friends for years.
Are Miss Randall and Mr. Henderson engaged?
Who's he?
Мистер Хендерсон. Че, правда не знаешь? Блин, реально не знает, походу.
She was wearing a sapphire engagement ring. Someone must have given it to her.
She never mentioned a man named Henderson to me.
That's all for now, Miss Swanson. Could you ask your fiancé to visit Hollywood Police Station? It would be very helpful to our inquiry.
Now, wait a moment. I don't think I'll pass on that message until you tell me why you're asking all these questions.
Julia Randall was found dead this morning.
What? Oh, no. Oh, I can't believe it. She was so full of life.
Phelps, 1247.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Messages for me, please.
Yes, Detective. The coroner's been asking to speak to you. I can connect the call if you like.
Please, thank you. Al?
Cole, can you get over here? I just finished the autopsy.
Охренеть.
Sure thing, Mal. We'll be right over.
Ща приедем.
You can drive.
All right, where to? Nice move not telling old Sweet Lips in there about her friend taking the big jump till we were half out the door. Very slick.
I figured we'd get more out of her that way.
You're learning, Phelps. We'll make a vice cop out of you yet.
Приятно, когда твои заслуги ценят. Да, Фелпс? Ну?
Detectives Phelps and Earl here to see the coroner.
Yes, Detective. He's waiting for you in the examination room.
Направо, стал быть.
Hey, isn't that the cop who solved the big case and got promoted?
Ага.
Cole, Roy, I have some information for you.
You're the only person enjoying this, Mal. Get on with it.
The bruising confirms 2 sets of hands, so we have 2 killers. Death was caused by heart failure due to an overdose of morphine.
Have you dragged us down here to gloat? We already heard your theory.
We agree that she was murdered.
Yes, of course.
I have something else to show you.
All right, Mal, what gives?
The dead guy's name is Jimmy LeBlanc, career burglar. He came in this morning. Someone stove his head in with a lump of 2x4.
So what? Good riddance.
I found 2 syrettes in his jacket pocket.
Wow.
Hang on a minute, Roy. We're listening, Mal.
No sign of morphine use and no metabolized morphine in his blood. Scratch marks on his face.
Which could be from getting his head remodeled.
Time of death, Mal.
Maybe an hour or 2 after the Randall girl.
So you're saying Laughing Boy here could be one of our killers? That's a hell of a long shot.
Thanks, Mal. We'll check it out.
I found something else.
Sorry, I don't play.
I don't know if it's significant. His wallet was empty. The only other things he was carrying were the harmonica and the morphine. Carruthers. Yeah, he's here. I'll send him over. They have a guy called Henry Arnett in interview 2 for you next door. Let me know how you get on.
Sure, Mal. And thanks for the lead.
Sure, Mal. Thanks for the lead.
Подожди, а почему я не смотрел эти тела?
Hey, can you give me a hand? I got a hard case I need to break.
Arnett is in interview too, Phelps. Go help him get whatever it is off his chest.
А где интервью Room 2? Вот она. Заходим.
Mr. Arnett, I'm Detective Phelps. This is Detective Earl. Thanks for coming in.
Call me Henry. It's the least I could do. Terrible news about Julia.
Связь с жертвой.
How well did you know Julia Randall?
Vaguely. I'm in the clothing business, and Julia occasionally modeled for me.
Ну давай посмотрим на тебя. Чего у тебя с ртом? Почему ты трясешься? Что мне кажется, что его можно связать с тем мужчиной. А, или нет? Почему мы обратили внимание на него, да? Наверное, Фелпс думает, что у них был роман.
If that's all, Heather's distraught. I probably need to get home.
Наверное, у них был роман. И кольца он не просто так сравнил. Давай посомневаемся.
He's asking whether you banged her in a chuck-on-the-shoulder fraternity kind of way.
I'm engaged to be married. It wouldn't be polite.
Answer the question.
This will remain private. Heather won't have to know. Yes. We had relations.
Miss Randall's landlady said she was seeing an older man.
Could have been. I wasn't privy to all the details of Julia's private life.
А вот тут ты точно запизделся. Посмотрим на список улик. Что нам может помочь? Колечко. Заявление домработницы. Хендерсон живет в Сан-Франциско. Бля, я не знаю. Ну, у него мимика говорит о том, что он пиздит.
If that's all, Heather's distraught. I probably need to get home.
Что выбрать то? Давайте интуицию.
Henry, I don't like when people lie to me. She was seeing a man named Henderson. You know who I'm talking about.
Easy on, detective. I may have heard of Henderson, but I don't know his full name. I think he's from New York or someplace back east.
О! А вот теперь я знаю, что это должно быть из Нью-Йорка. Но ты пиздишь. Он из Сан-Франциско.
That's funny. Julia told her cleaning lady that he lived in San Francisco.
Okay, you got me. I don't know where he's from. Julia wanted money. She always wanted money. She thought she could get some from this guy.
She was wearing a distinctive engagement ring. You think she might have convinced him to buy it for her?
Maybe he did, yeah. Maybe he and Julia were getting serious.
Леблан. Леблан. Леблан подозреваемый в ограблении.
Ever heard of a Jimmy LeBlanc?
No. Should I have? Is he an entertainer or something?
Ой, господи, Джимми Леблан это тот вор, да? Волик, у меня этого нету.
So you wouldn't have any reason to believe that LeBlanc would be involved in Julie Randall's murder?
If this guy is a criminal, he might have been involved. But like I said, I've never heard of this LeBlanc character.
Heather told us that you were in fashion.
That's right.
Hey, can you give me a hand? I got a hard case I need to break.
Директор. Ну ничего себе. Ну и чё?
Some kind of traveling salesman?
Once I got out of the Corps, I used my...
You were in the Marines?
Sure. I'm proud of it. Fighting 6th.
You were in the 6th Marines?
Yes. I was a captain.
Which company?
Various companies. We had a lot of casualties.
Which engagements?
Okinawa. A couple of other places.
That will be all for now, Henry. You've been very helpful.
That son of a bitch was never in the Marines. Why'd you let him off the hook?
Because we're giving him a couple of minutes before we start tailing him. Arnett is an amateur. We need to find out who killed the girl. Can you pass this on to Bukowski? Have him check the place out and go through his records.
Sure, I'll pass it on.
Thanks. Can you also have R&I run the records on a Jimmy LeBlanc and find out who was his last arresting officer? Have them get in touch via KGPL when they have some information.
Блин, Фелпс-то очень крут стал. Смотри, как ведет расследование.
He's in that car at the lights.
О, да, моя любимая часть игры. Слежка.
He was squirming like a worm in there. Don't you love it when they pull the war hero excuse? Actually, maybe you don't.
You got a pretty funny idea of what keeping a low profile means, Phelps.
I'd have expected a cad like Arnett to be a better liar.
Красный свет, видишь, да?
Where are you taking us, Henry?
Не беси. Так.
That idiot never stepped foot in Okinawa.
I got your bike.
Там очередь. Походу все, да?
Every man for himself.
He needs money and fast. Get in there and find out what he pawned. I'll stick with him, see how he intends to spend the money. Move in. Can't risk losing the trail.
Hoof it, Phelps. I'll bring the car around when I'm done here.
Too much slack. Gotta get closer.
Watch it.
Не мешай мне вести расследование. Хо-хо-хо.
That's right, Mexico City. One-way ticket, please. Next available seat.
That would be 1 day from now. Is that okay?
It's going to have to be.
LAPD, the man who just came in here, he bought a ticket?
Yes, sir. To Mexico City, tomorrow night.
If you hear from him again, don't mention this conversation.
What have you got?
He bought a ticket from Mexico City tomorrow night.
That's good. But this is better.
My God, it's Fabergé.
Should have seen the look
My
on the
God.
pawnbroker's face when I told him to hand it over.
The guy who owned the joint thought it was worth at least 10 large for a cigarette case. Arnett only got 600 clams.
Ну ладно, ребят, на этом серию закончим. Всем спасибо за просмотр. Увидимся в следующей серии.